We can start. Please start.
Dear participants, as we are on the 5-day national level online FDP on ICT tools and binary accreditation for modern higher education institutions, I see many topics scheduled for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Which expects us to develop our teaching capacities. But when it comes to development, faculty development program, I don't touch these topics, but I'm interested in whether these program inculcate physical development of the faculty, mental development of the faculty, because they have to deal with lots of things, interpersonal development of the faculty. They have to deal with the students, they have to deal with other faculties, they have to deal with the management, because they are also human beings. Therefore, interpersonal development and intrapersonal development, moreover, belongingness to the institution where they work, where they teach. Maybe I expect these things to be inculcated when you deal with these programs for 5 days. When it concerns to the academics, I just want to bring one point. Now there is a new sickness called AI. Please excuse me for using this. There is a new sickness called AI where we are completely lost. For me, I am not able to judge at one instance where something is true or false. Where AI is a tool which is very important. It has to be used as a pickle, but people use it as food, which has to be really taken care of when you have this online FDP. Having said this, I wish all the best, all the participants, and let this FDP program bring lots of good tools so that our institution really gain. I wish you all the best once more, and thank you, and God bless you.
Let me give a minute to share my slides. Okay? I think it is visible to all of you. Dear participants, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's good. That's good. Uh, Once again, I'm happy to be a part of this webinar scheduled for about 5 days on teaching methodology for university and college teachers. First session, I was asked to interact with you on a very generic topic that is of greater significance for both teachers and the students these days. Fine, the role of teachers in higher education. I am in the field of higher education for the last 35 years. Uh, Discharged duties in different capacities, but still, before I starting the lecture on the role of teachers in higher education, I was thinking as to how to start. But I got a tip from the inaugural speech delivered by Father. As the host or the anchor rightly mentioned, is starting from the primary school up to the universities and the research institutions about artificial intelligence and its application. And many a time people started talking that hereafter there will not be any role for teachers because artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotic technology will replace the teachers, and the number of teachers are going to be, the significance of teachers are going to be reduced hereafter. But I am of the opinion there is no need to listen to this apprehension, but we need to take it seriously. Artificial intelligence 100% cannot replace the teachers, but teachers need to rethink, redefine, re-identify their roles by visiting to the changed situation. As a matter of fact, for the last 20 years or so, education has not the same as it was some 20 years back prior to the introduction of ICT. Particularly, the introduction of internet has altered lot many things, and we are made to be on our toes before we get into the class and even inside the classes. Therefore, I take a journalistic outlook to speak to you on the topic, the role of teachers in higher education. Take the liberty to interact with me as the organizers told me after uh, a lecture for interaction, there will be scheduled time for question and answer. If you can make out the questions, list out the questions, ask me the questions forward, however technical, difficult, simple they are. There is no rule that I only have to answer the questions. Anybody in the audience can also help me to answer the question. But the only thing is, through this interaction, both of us must learn something new, must change our approach to the present thinking on higher education a little at least. That is interaction. As I told you, basically, I'm a teacher in the sector for the last 3.5 decades. My observation is that the present day education has undergone tremendous changes with the introduction of technology, with the introduction of new ways of teaching, along with the industrial revolution happening around us. Incidentally, we are all with the industrial revolution 4.0, and on the threshold of 4.0 revolution, life got totally digitized, and we cannot imagine anything without the application of digital tools. And the best example for that is the online webinar that we are having. It was not the case some 10 years back. Why 10 years back? Little earlier to COVID-19, we were not this familiar with the online sessions, thanks to the developments happened during that period. And teachers are the first set of community who are compelled to emerge to the occasion and prepare themselves to reach out to their students online. However difficult it is, because teaching cannot happen mechanically. It is not just a conversation or a dialogue or a communication. It is a process. It is a process of imparting something new to the young mind in order to mold their attitudes, behavior, actions, reactions by understanding their sentiments and motivating them to learn something new by a sort of passion and compassion that is backed by caring for the students. These things cannot be expected from a distance, and these things at least cannot be expected from machines. We need human beings. Despite of all the developments that have happened today and that's going to happen in future also, I am of the opinion teachers are going to be the heart of education, starting from primary or nursery education up to the so-called specialized research and research institutions. Keeping this in mind, I will make a precise attempt to talk to you. In my presentation, acceptable, may not be acceptable, something that needs clarification, something that may put you into confusions will also be there. Bear with me, make a note of all these things, try to interact with me. I'm not here to say that I'm going to tell you something that is absolute truth. Thereafter, there is nothing like deliberations, discussions. This is the ultimate. No. Any education reflects its success and effectiveness in its capacity to generate questions in the minds of the audience, that is, the so called listeners, students, participants, etc. If there are more number of questions in your mind, that is the justification that I have instilled something into you and put you into thinking. Therefore, positively or negatively, take it as a process of learning. Either you learn or I may learn something from you. The results are going to be good for the community, that is the students who are the ultimate beneficiaries of interactions of this nature. I will be taking you towards understanding the role of teachers in higher education, how it can be done. Say, for instance, here I have something to share with you. This is to say that somewhere in 1976, Hal Ginol, a celebrated teacher, has written something about the role of a teacher. To set the tone for our discussion, I am reading this before you. And he says, as a teacher, I have come to a frightening conclusion that I am the decisive element in the classroom. It is my personal mood that sets the climate. It is my daily mood that makes the weather. As a teacher, I possess tremendous power to make a student's life miserable or joyous. I can be a tool of torture or an instrument of inspiration. I can humiliate, I can humor, hurt, or heal. In all situations, it is my response that decides whether a crisis will be escalated or de escalated, and a child is humanized or dehumanized. I think this one single slide needs hours together to deliberate. Ultimately, it is the quality of the teachers that determines the quality of the citizens of a nation and the members of the community. Higher education or primary education, whatever it is a situation where the young minds are under training through the learned, mature, designated teachers. Teachers are the pillar of the community. The quality and the strength of the community reflects the teachers of community. The present higher education has undergone tremendous changes, and the contours of education got redefined by the new education policy declared by the government of India as far as Indian education is concerned. You are all familiar with the expression NEP 2020. Most of the states in India have implemented that. Even in Karnataka, it was partially implemented with certain modifications, and new regulation has been introduced. Despite of all this, call it as the revised or the traditional or the modern, new or the old, education has a purpose. Education is to channelize the youth on proper direction, particularly for a country like India, where 65% of its population constitutes people below the age of 35 years, between 18 and 35 years, and about 50% of the population is in the age group of 25 years. Unless we put them on the right direction, unless we guide them to be productive and make them to be sincere, caring, and daring to take right type of decision, this uh, the strength of the demography, that is the youth. It is Abdul Kalam, some 15 years back, once said that by 2020, India is going to be young, and 2020, India will be the superpower. I have apprehensions to say about the second wish, that is whether India has become the superpower or not. That is still debatable. Whether we become superpower by another 5 years or 10 years, it is also questionable. But it is certain that India has become young. Today, in the entire world, India has the largest population as youth. The responsibility of taking the demographic dividend by training them properly, educating them properly, and suggesting them the right routes is with the teaching community. Therefore, my point is to say that the role of a teacher is not only to deliver lectures inside the class. Often, I used to say, a teacher is not a delivery boy. A teacher's job is not to deliver, reproduce what he has learned through some books or something like that. It is to share his experience, questioning in the minds of people. It is to make them think critically. It is to make them analytical. Approach to the fellow human beings in the community. It is to make them to be independent, original in their thinking. How it can happen? This can happen only when the teachers are trained to do this, are committed to do this. Teachers are involved in molding the society rather than discharging their duty as lecturing for 1 hour, 2 hours, something like that. It is not only lecturing that matters inside the class. Teachers have to set examples, set examples for the youngsters to take them as the role models, take them as the examples, as standard of behavior for their life. It is not an easy joke. It is not an easy joke because no student will learn as the teacher says, but invariably every student will imitate the teachers do as elders, as responsible, designated guides, role models in the community. Therefore, a teacher's role is of a very significant dimension. I am the one who believes that a teacher is more than that of a social reformer. Real social reform can happen inside the four walls. If a teacher mind, he can do anything. The best example to substantiate this, you can remember Malala, along with whom a new caption got developed across the globe. That is, a child, a book, a teacher, and a pen can change the world. A child, a pen, a book, and a teacher can change the world if they mind. Therefore, that is the power of teacher. It is very difficult to substantiate the entire role of teachers in. I make attempt to make it precise within the given time for me, and you can ask any number of questions. You can make comments, criticize, and charge me as you wish, so that I can also pick up one or two things from you. Now, I am to tell you, a teacher invariably several roles in the society, along with discharging his duty as a teacher inside the class. I am of the opinion that teachers are undesignated leaders. Teachers are the undesignated leader. And it is the leaders who matters anyway. I can recall at this moment a statement by Harvey, a renowned thinker both in public administration, political science, and management, who once said, there are no underdeveloped countries in the world. There are undermanaged countries. No ideology, no ism, no political theory can solve the problems of underdeveloped countries, but only sound leadership can. Sound leadership can solve problems of anybody. A leader is like an engine for the bogies to move. The speed of the engine determines the speed of the bogie. I said teachers are the undesignated leaders. They may not be in politics. They may not be in religious teaching. They may not be in sports. But all these fields are influenced by the teachers. Therefore, I am of the opinion a teacher is a true leader. Every day he has to play the role of a leader. I can ask you a question. Are you a leader? Yes. Without you answering, I will impose my answer on you that you are a leader because you are a teacher. The role of the leader is to take people on journeys where they have not been before. A journey means here, it is not the picnic or the tour that we take. It is the life journey. In the life journey, students look at the teachers as the leader. A leader has to play the role of both a driver and a tourist guide. A driver's job is only to take the vehicle to the scheduled spots, but the tourist guide has to explain of each and every place that we visit. A teacher here at every point of time has to behave like a leader, take the people towards a journey for a distance which they have not seen so far. Normally, leaders are those who hate and instinctively challenge the status quo. What does it mean? Status quo means status quo is a situation where there is no change that can be considered as a deadly and the world, is always dynamic. Life is always dynamic. Whether you like it or not, life changes. Student will become a student may become a boss, a student may become an officer, a student may become a teacher's teacher. Nothing can be ruled out. But the role of a teacher, teachership rather, teachership is unchangeable. Learn from everybody. Whoever teaches to us can be taken as a teacher. Incident appointed as teachers, but undesignated as leaders. But am I boring? As teachers, we need to mute your phone. You're all teachers. A teacher's job is challenge the status quo. Don't accept the things as they are. Initiate the change. Change is the only happening in life. You may not like the change, but the change can change you. When the change changes you, you will be unprepared. You will become disappointed, disgusted. To avoid always, change yourself. To change you only required. To change you only exposure is required, education is required. Therefore, I am of the opinion all the teachers are leaders. I have a definition for leaders. Remember, you are a leader if you feel you can do things better and know how to do them better without offending those in authority. For a leader, authority is not required. As a teacher, if you have the leadership quality, chairman of the department, principal of the college, head of the department, things like that. With whatever position you have, your leadership spirit will make you to do wonders. Leaders never look for authority. You are a leader if you are comfortable being challenged. Leaders emerge at the time of risk, uncertainty, and challenges only. Inside the classroom also, you need to play the role of a leader. A true leader is one who accepts challenges comfortably. And you are a leader if you are comfortable with being under authority. When there is no power, you will not hesitate to do what you like. You try to assemble, associate, and organize the existing things only to do what you want to do. That is what leadership quality. You are a leader if you are comfortable with crediting other people for the success they have achieved through your help. Normally, teachers help us when they become successful. It is the teachers who feel proud and think as if their success is the teachers are the first one to celebrate the youngster's success than their parents do. But many people cannot understand this. A student, when he becomes successful, many a time says that if the media people put the microphone and ask, what is the secret of your success? Normally, students will say, hard work, God's grace, my parents' support. If time permits, then they say, my teachers supported me. But teachers never expect anybody to appreciate them. It is the natural tendency of any teacher proud of the students who have made some remarkable achievements. Therefore, a leader is one who celebrates the success of others, who never take the credit for himself, who share the credit with others. This is what I wanted to convey to you. We are all in the field of education. Let us, for a while, understand what is this education is all about. Because if we understand the gamut of education where we are all participants, we are all participants, we are all workers. I remember a note thinker in management, Peter Drucker, when somebody called him professor, He said, don't call me a professor, I'm a knowledge worker. We are all in the field of knowledge. We are working for knowledge creation, knowledge dissemination. To what extent we are successful, that depends on our efforts, involvement, etc. Therefore, to substantiate the topic given to me, that the role of teachers, I thought it would be better if I speak little about the changing trend and the system in the field of education. What is this education is all about? Education is broadly concerned with building human character and capabilities that enables the realization of full potential of oneself and the civilization. See, broadly concerned with building human character. It is the process of building. It is the process of building human character at any level. That too, I and you are in the field of higher education. Higher starts after the 12th year of schooling. Normally, in this part of the globe and the country, after third standard, students will come to the higher education programs, let it be an undergraduate or postgraduate program. At this point of time, the level of students' mindset is still in transformation. They are neither kids nor grown-ups. When they're in school, there was a feeling that we are kids. When they were in high school, they started that we have got matured, we are no way second, no way inferior to youth of this country, though they are not. They believe that they know everything. They are in the stage of transition. This is the toughest time to mold anybody. They are not willing to accept any suggestions, guidance, because there is a feeling that I know everything. I know something more than my people around me. Given this situation, the toughest task, because the students are not properly open, not properly motivated, not properly adjusted to the environment because of the confused state of mind. Here, the role of the teacher is very significant. You cannot be rude. You cannot be very imposing. If that is done, they will take you as their enemy. I'm true in my observation. There is a popular saying that high school teachers love their subject. High school teachers, by looking at the results in the 10th standard or PUC results, they say that in my subject, students did well. They are all my lovely students, something like that. They see the success, they love the students through the subject that they love. Primary school and nursery school teachers, they really love the children. They look at them through the parenthood as a mother. The moment I say teacher in primary schools, it is a lady teacher. A madam only comes to my mind. A sister only comes to my mind. So that the motherly affection that the teacher shows in the primary schools is uncomparable. It is so lovely. But what about teachers in universities and the colleges? There is a saying, university teachers, college teachers, they are all highly qualified, highly educated, double degree, triple degree, doctorates, publications, projects, that, this and all, makes them to feel that I'm something different, I'm something special. Many a time, inside the classroom, they expect the students to be of their own level. Many a time, my own known friends comes with comments that these days students are not that mature, they don't know anything. My answer is that if they know everything, where is the need for you as a teacher there? You have to think differently. You have to look at them as youngsters in transition. Therefore, when you look at them as youngsters in transition, you have to mold the device. Don't expect them to come with preparedness. They are unprepared. They are not matured enough. Education is something that is imparted to an unmatured person by a matured person. You are the matured person. As a matured person, you have to think so that what is to be done. The two most important things that should happen at higher education level is one is character building. Character. It is made up of attitudes, values, emotions, sentiments. Along with that, capability. The capability comes out of skill, technology, scientific thinking. I started by saying with father's code, that is artificial intelligence, robotic technology. These things have come. Our students think technology can do everything. Google Guru has become most popular teacher these days. Google Guru. Everybody believes that there is an answer in Google for everything. But I am the one who reminds that there is a difference between information and knowledge, money and wealth. Money is not wealth, information is not knowledge. What you get on the Google is not knowledge, it is just information. That information has to be processed, that information has to be interpreted, that information has to be applied to make it to educate knowledge. And that knowledge must be finally used as wisdom. It is the teacher's job to convert information into knowledge and finally as wisdom. Today, what we are lacking in the world is wisdom. Wisdom will be reflected in common sense people use. But today, most of the problems that we are facing are because of lack of common sense. Killings everywhere, war everywhere, crime everywhere, cheating everywhere. Because we are in a speed to capture power, we are in a speed to make money. We think money can buy everything. No, money cannot make you happy. Ultimately, why are you doing all these things? To be happy. Can you get the happiness by what you are doing? The answer is a big zero. No. Therefore, character plus capability are the most prominent thing that must be built into the society to make the society a healthy place for everybody to live. We may produce engineers, doctors, professionals. Don't worry, along with the degrees that we are giving. Whether people who are getting this degree are really reflecting the graduate attitude, what is expected of a graduate, are they showing the minimum common sense expected from a graduate? Answer is not convincing yes. It is, though it is closer to yes, it is not an absolute yes. Therefore, my point is to say that education is to provide an induction into a balanced, inclusive, comprehensive world view, not the classroom view, not the text view, notes view, examination view. That can be done easily these days. View that will serve a cause including but beyond personal self. Along with the personal growth, you should also contribute for growth in different contexts. To make you realize whatever I said so far, as responsible teachers who have the obligation of molding their character and capability, do you know the characteristics of students who are sitting in front of you? Unless you know the quality of the audience, you cannot devise proper teaching methodology. Incidentally, I'm talking to you through the screen, talking to you online. Any day, I am of the opinion a communication where there is scope for eye to eye contact, eye to eye conversation, where I can see your facial expression, where I can see your body language, I can deliver better than talking to a screen. But today it has become inevitable. We are planning to go for hybrid mode of regular education. You cannot expect every day students to come to the class because our students are also busy these days. It is online, but still we need to know about our audience. Who are they? How are they? Otherwise, we cannot reach out to them. I have made a couple of points to describe our present generation of students. Whether you agree or disagree, you can comment later on when we interact. The first point that I am telling is the present day generation of students, their interpersonal skills are less developed. Interpersonal, even in the inaugural address, Father made a mention that are we teaching proper interpersonal, intrapersonal skills to our students? Interpersonal skills are the skills that are essential to be comfortable in the company of others. To get the things done through conversation, communication, dialogue, through democratic means, disturbing anybody's existence. I am of the opinion, true or may not be true, present day generation students are not fully equipped with interpersonal skills. Followed by that, their computer skills are very strong when compared to their teachers. They are the students who are born after digitization. They are computer natives. I and you are computer migrants. They are natives. They are born with all this technology. That was people who have born after 2000. They born with all types of digital tools. They are familiar with that. But when it comes to human relations, interpersonal relations, their skills are not that strong. They are skeptical and desensitized. They are skeptical. Don't bother about the things happening around them. They think if there is a war between two different countries, how does it affect us? Why should we bother? Somebody dies on the road because of a road accident. Why should we stop and see who is he? What's happening to them? And many people have stopped reading newspapers. They say, why should we know politics? Politics is ugly. Whether you like it or not, politics is important for civilized life, for democratic life. Only sports cannot take you anywhere. Even everybody is not interested in that sports. Sports means only one thing. You must be knowing. Many of our youngsters don't know about other sports other than cricket. Cricket is the only sports many people think. Thanks to the latest development, we are trying to popularize football, tennis, and some attempts from interested people to popularize kabaddi, things like that. My point is to say that they are skeptical, short-sighted, desensitized. Followed by that, they are good in multitasking. They are good in multitasking, enjoy multiple stimuli. Multiple stimuli. I'm also sure some of the young teachers who are listening to my lecture online, doing multiple tasks, as if they are pretending to listen to me, looking at the screen and all. They may be doing something else. Even inside the class, it happens like that. Our students may be physically present in the class, sitting in front of us. They may be thinking different things. Or I am of the opinion, many a time, if a student is sitting straight by putting both the hands on his thighs, it is an indication that he is working something with his mobile phone. And they can do multitask every time. It's a good sign, no doubt, but where to use? Where to use? I remember still what Father said, use technology as pickle, not as the food. But today, there is no difference between food and the pickle. That's the problem. Followed by that, present day generation of students feel comfortable in challenging anybody, challenging others. If they fail in the examination, in one word they say teaching was not good. Before that, they will say question paper was out of syllabus. They may pass on the buck to somebody. They don't take the responsibility. They challenge the system. For everything they say either the government or the parent or the management is responsible for all the problems. Followed by that, they have high expectations of themselves and others. They expect high. They think for every problem they have a solution, which is not true. High expectation. But they are very good in negotiating. Negotiate anything and everything. They don't accept anything. Shall I continue another 10 minutes class? No, sir. For anything and everything, bargain, bargain. Their bargaining capacity is strong. This is what the characteristics, as I noted, of the present day generation of students. Being teachers of challenges. What are these challenges? I have listed few most important challenges that the teachers are facing, because in the light of this you have to emerge as a leader. In the light of this you have to discharge your duties as an effective teacher. What are the challenges? The challenges are, at the first instance, there is a widened gap between the educational and the needs of the society. Society expects a lot because society is totally different from what it was some 20 years back, 10 years back. Society has also altered. We are living in a society which is internally capitalistic in nature, which is capacity. Success and money directly related. Such a society expects that if I spend huge money, I can get good education. If I send my ward, my children to popular colleges where the fees is high, education will be good. By joining a good college, my son or daughter will learn fast. Everybody thinks in terms of speed because they are greedy. It is the speed and the greed that makes people to indulge in all sorts of frauds. We are living in a society where manipulations, corruption, bribery, shortcuts have become common. Such a society normally expects quick results. Quick results. The moment they admitted their children, people think their job is over. They are ready to pay any money, charge any fees we will pay, make my son a genius. Is it possible? Not by that. Students who pay for their education are demanding value for money. It has become something like business. So much, give me the result. People ask a question, is there scope for your course? What is the scope for your course? What is the placement opportunity? Colleges and universities, employment exchanges and placement centers. And there are colleges and universities and placement. Where are they placed? What are they doing? In what way they are contributing for the betterment of welfare of the community? Unquestionable. Unquestioned. It is questionable but unquestioned. Followed by that, society is ready to invest more and has a high expectation from the educational outcomes. They look at us. Present day education system, teachers are made responsible for everything. As I told you in the beginning itself, the quality of a community depends on the quality of the teacher. Teachers are regarded very high. That too in India, the biggest for teachers, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Maheshwara. That means teacher is great, justified, and infrastructure and the circumstances must be possible unless we support them? That is a big question. That teachers sometimes need to fight for their cause. They are also part of the system. Followed by that, teachers are facing difficulties in holding or handling increased size of classes with students having diverse experience, age, socio-economic status, maturity level, and cultural backgrounds. Our classes are the mini country. There will be people from rich, poor, intelligent, non-intelligent, urban, rural, students from illiterate family, elite families, but you are a single teacher, you have to reach out to everybody, believe me. You cannot target only the elites, otherwise it will go above the head of everybody. If you talk to the average, the elite and intelligent students will underestimate you. You don't know anything. Don't bother about it. Have a target. Have a target. Try to reach out to those targeted audience. Your target must be specific and you must reach out that goal every day. After every class, you must think whether I reached this target or not. Forget about the extraordinary. You are not expected to do extraordinary things, but don't forget the ordinary. Ordinary. This is what I wanted to convey through this. Followed by this. Followed by this. I have a list of things to say before you that our present day education is missing something. What have we missed in the present day education system? We talk so much about ICT, AI, EI, that, this and all, but education is not delivering what is supposed to be done. It is not the percentage of result that you get, number of students who are placed, that is significant. What is important is transformation of the mind and the soul. Is it happening? That's $1,000,000 question. Values. Values are the most important thing that must be taught through education. But we are living in a society where we started valuing the speed, acquisition, money, rather than the social values of ethical consideration like honesty, sincerity, commitment to others, humanism, humanity. That is what missing. Nativity, originality, realistic, practical. These things are missing. Now we have to fill these. That is the role of a teacher now. We have to create and work as institutions that builds this gap. By inculcating topics related to this in our syllabus, topics related to this in our lecture, in our day-to-day interaction, and more than anything, we have to mold ourselves. Not audible? Excuse me. Is it not
Yes,
audible?
yes, sir.
Somebody put a message that it is not. Please bear with me. Focus on societal orientation in the courses. Whatever the subject you may teach physics, chemistry, mathematics. That can also be presented with a social commitment, social orientation, good for the common man. That is what expected of education. A machine cannot do that. Artificial intelligence cannot teach holistic education. It's a machine, work as programmed. It cannot be student centric. An intelligent student need not be fluent in English. An ordinary student may think extraordinarily. Unless it is programmed, a machine cannot understand this. We need a kind mind to look into the realities. Therefore, my point is to say that these missing links are to be filled by the teachers. What the machine cannot do, that must be done by the teachers. What AI cannot do, that must be done by the teachers. Therefore, the task of a teacher is to awaken the spirit inside everybody, which is a natural gift for them, by doing extraordinary things. To be in that order, teachers are expected to reach out to everybody. How it can be done? My point is to say quickly, a teacher whose job is both sensitive and emotional, along with sensitivity and emotionality, he should cultivate something that makes him effective teacher. That is, at the first instance, knowledge of self. Know yourself, understand your responsibility, why you are there, what made you to get into this profession, whether you are by whether you are a teacher by choice or by chance. Love the profession now. Once you got into a profession, love the profession. Unless you love what you do, you cannot give justice. Followed by that, let there be emotional stability. Teachers need, there are occasions every day which will challenge your emotions. Be stable, understand the purpose, try to control yourself, manage yourself and your emotions. Have a vision. Your vision is to, I told you, you can be a social reformer without declaring that I am a social reformer. Every day, if you mind, you can change the fate of a student, fate of the nation. Or have a clear vision what you want to achieve. Dream big. But let there be vision, let there be social sensitivity. Social sensitivity means understand the society where you are, what type of society it is, what type of changes are happening. There are different type of people sitting in front of you. A poor student, an intelligent student who cannot speak because of his inability to speak in the language everybody speaks here. A poor student with lot of intention to study but no background support for him. All these things you must keep in mind when you interact with the students. You should also cultivate the habit of impressing others, ability to impress others. You need not have to impress everybody on the street. Impress your student. These days, the biggest challenge is how to make the students to get into the class and be with us throughout the class. Because we have been discussing, the span of attention is very short today. The span of attention of present day students is not more than 4 minutes. Students will measure the effectiveness of the teacher during the first 4 minutes itself. Afterwards, it will become a monologue. Nobody will bother what you are talking. Therefore, try to be effective communicator. Try to reach out to them. Be intuitive to understand. If what would have been thinking, their thinking. I would have been thought about them. Therefore, empathize your audience. I'm empathizing you. Hope I'm not boring and troubling you, but still, there are a few more things to mention before you. Let there be integrity. For the role models for everybody. Not only the student sitting in front of you, even the society expects you to be something different. That's the reason everybody says a teacher cannot afford to commit mistakes like everybody. Because teachers are different in the society. There's a popular saying that flashed to my mind. If a doctor commits a mistake, that mistake will be buried. Because a doctor's mistake must result in the death of a patient. The death of a patient can be buried. If a lawyer commits a mistake, that mistake may be hanged. At the most, what happens if the lawyer fails, his client may get the death sentence. But if a teacher commits a mistake, what will happen? That will spread into generations. It will go to generations together. It will spoil the community. It will spoil the society. That's the reason people look differently at the teachers. As teachers, we cannot afford to make always on the right track as much as possible. Therefore, our integrity must not be put into questions before others. This is what another thing I wanted to convey. We must be problem solvers. Teachers must act as the problem solvers for the students. What are the problems that the students may encounter every day? The first and the most prominent problem is motivational difficulties for studies. When they face motivational difficulties, they they don't like to listen to your lecture, they don't like to come to the classes, they don't like to continue the education. Dropout rates are very high. One of the objectives of NEP 20 reduce the dropout rates. You should ask a question, why there will be dropouts? Why the students are leaving the courses? Why they are not interested in listening to my lecture? Motivational problems. We have to come out with answers. There is no one answer for this. I know that. We are not only responsible for that, I know that. But it should be a joint and collective effort to understand why students are not coming to the classes. Even if they come physically, why are they not participating in the interactions? Empty classroom has become a new normal. Empty classroom has become a new normal today. That too after COVID-19, making students to come to the class is a challenge because in the name of privacy, isolation and all, students have cultivated the habit. Loneliness is not a problem today. Social fitness is the problem. Socializing is the problem today. They are not comfortable in the classroom. They are not comfortable in the field. And then you have to make them to learn. So that biggest challenge is motivating them and reinstilling mental fitness along with social fitness. What is in the company of others? Second problem that the students face, for which student teachers must come out with answer, is inability to adjust to the college life environment. For various reasons, students may not be comfortable with the learning environment. Their expectations may be high or low. In both the cases, there will be a mismatch. It is the teacher's responsibility comfortable to interact with others, learn comfortably, question comfortably, and every day enjoys being there in the college or the university campus. How to make it? Again, that's $1 million question. Study skills. These days, students will come out with a question, how to prepare for the examination. And directly they will ask what questions will come for the examination. But they are not very clear as to how to study a specific subject. There are different methodologies that we can teach our students to study different things. Many of our students have forgotten the writing skills. Unless you write, you cannot remember. After the introduction of Xerox, camera, they are making copies of everything, thinking that their job is over. They are not inculcating the habit of questioning, interpreting, putting it into different dimension. If the question format is altered, they think it is out of syllabus because they are not well versed with the concept. Unless there is conceptual clarity, they cannot interpret it. Therefore, my point is to say, we need to tell them the study skills. We must after education. Some of them have a question in their mind, after the college, after the course, where shall I go? Even the world situation outside is also of the same nature. Unemployment, underemployment, disappointment, hating academics, disliking. Yes. Therefore, here, in order to make the students to inculcate quality of setting proper direction for their life, we need to help them. We need to support them. That can happen only when teachers are well versed with that. Understand? Everybody speaks in terms of success through money only. Believe me, money is not everything. That problem can be solved by appealing to the students' unexpressed emotions, unexpressed feelings. That can happen only through holistic and multidisciplinary education. Holistic education is one wherein instead of making a student to study a single subject, either by choice or by force he has taken, let there be opportunity for him to pursue anything that he likes. Somebody may be good in sports, somebody may be good in singing, dancing, floriculture, horticulture. Somebody may be good in social work. Somebody may be good in literature. Let them nurture their likings. However, when the student thinks that I don't like the subject, main subject that I'm studying, but I enjoy the secondary or the minor subject that I have taken, that is dancing, which I like the most. That is literature, which I like the most. That is singing, which I like the most. So that you have to bring them back to colleges. How it can be done? NEP has come out with a lot of suggestions for that. Somebody may be good in something, give them opportunity for them to do that. Along with that, many a time there will be personal issues that every person may be having an issue, including the teachers. Therefore, we must, as much as possible, we cannot sort out the problems of everybody, but a solace can build confidence. I tell you, one of the most important things that you need to build among our students is confidence, character with confidence. Most of our students may be intelligent, good in scoring marks, but when it comes to facing the crisis of life, they are not that confident. Because all the time they are made to think only about victory, victory, victory. They have not experienced. Failure they have not noticed. Nobody will teach to fail. Everybody teach to be successful only. Everybody cannot become a rank holder. In a class of 100, everyone cannot become a rank holder. But every parent expects their children to become a rank holder. Learning versus rank is a big question today. Are you sending your children to learn something or to get a rank? So that what to teach? There is a popular saying, make students to learn, engage these students to learn the good things. So that my point is to tell you, I will take you to Generation Z. Generation Z type of students. What do they expect? They are very smart. The new generation students, generation is entrepreneurial and want to chart its own future and goes on point out that they are confident self-starters. They believe entrepreneurship is the best approach, as 42% in a survey expected to work for themselves. They are not for jobs. 72% would prefer to design their own college courses and major altogether. They seek hands-on experience and practical skills. 79% want colleges to integrate work experience with coursework in order to give them a leg up in the workplace. 64% are concerned about being able to get a job. This is what the expectations of Generation Z. They are not comfortable with the type of education that we are giving through a ready-made syllabus. Sometimes we need to listen to them. We need to cater to their needs, their expectations. For that, there must be flexibility in the system. Unless you cannot do all this. And the present generation of youngsters, they think in terms of high achievements. Majority of the youngsters today say, we are not looking for a government job. Then what do you want to become? Everybody want to become an entrepreneur, a tycoon, a millionaire. Because you are dreaming, you have to prepare for that. To prepare them all the time, don't think by giving, not do so. None of the great achievers, let it be Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, Tatas or Birlas in India, emerged overnight. They are the people who have experienced n number of discomforts, uncertainties. Present day students are not capable of sustaining such uncomforts and disorganized happenings in their life. They expect everything to be smooth. Some small change, it will disturb them. They will get frustrated, and the suiciding tendency is greater among the most intelligent youngsters of today. I'm sorry to say this. We need to build them a spirit, not permanent. Unless you lose, you don't learn. Winning may make you a successor. Winning may make you an achiever, but losing makes you an expert. To be an expert, accept everything. I'm not forcing anybody to fail, but when you fail, how to behave. For that, again and again, I remember Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln once said, teach my son not to be ashamed of the tears that falls on losing something. Make him to smile at the time of misery. Tell him not to be ashamed of the humiliations, insults on losing something. Make him to have pride in his own deeds, even if the whole world calls him mad. Make him to have pride in his own deeds, even if the whole world calls him mad. How can we make it to happen? We must set the proper examples in front of them. You must ask a question for this generation Z person. Why do you want to become rich? Why do you want to become an entrepreneur? Is there any element of social interest, social commitment, good for the community? Unless that element is there, it's a waste. Even you make a successful billionaire, he will become destructive. That is what I wanted to convey through this. Therefore, a teacher's role is very, very prominent when it comes to molding the behaviors of everybody. I'm not needless to elaborate that today we need to think in terms of educating our students along with the modern methods, along with the teaching knowledge, skill, and attitude only. Along with that, we must prepare them as the real graduate. What do we expect from a graduate? Normally, whether he's a science, arts, or commerce graduate, a deep knowledge of subject in the program that he has completed must be there. Concentrate on that also. If you speak only, as I am telling the generic things, people will say, we will tell stories only. Along with the stories, teach the content of the main course, the main program. A graduate must be good in that subject. A science graduate must be good in the science subject that he has chosen. A commerce graduate, an arts graduate must be good in his subject. And build capacity to engage in self-reflection and lifelong learning. Inculcate the quality of lifelong learning among the students. That can happen only when a student's deeply inserted into the academics and one or two subjects attracted his attention. then he will keep on inquiring about it throughout his life. Let there be transferable skills suitable for employment. Our course content and our deliveries must also help them to get a job. Whatever we say, education is for knowledge acquisition, that, this, and all, in principle, in spirit, it is okay. But any education that doesn't help to get the bread and butter is useless, meaningless. Let them job opportunity. We need to create our courses keeping in mind the employability of the students. That employable skills must also be taught. These days, the employability skills, without saying, goes with technological skills, soft skills, and human relation skills. There are plenty. The World Economic Forum has come out with a list of employable skills for 2025. You can go through that. But in a class, we must try to see that all these skills are inculcated. Leadership is built. A true leader will have normally all these qualities: problem solving skills, conflict resolution skills, soft skills, communication skills, etc., etc. The capacity to take up social and civic responsibilities relating to the environment and the society. This is another important thing. We must build the capacity to take the responsibility of the environment and the society. Our objective is to prepare global citizens. Don't make them menial. Don't make them to think about their own caste, community, nation, even. All important thing. Nationality is the most important thing. I am the one who believes mother and mother tongue, mother and motherland. Mother and motherland are greater than anything. But still, you should become a universal man. Vishwamanava. Karnataka is the land that has given the concept of Vishwamanava through Kuampu. How to become Vishwamanava? When the Vishwa, the world itself, is at crisis, when the world is burning, our educated people must think practically. They must think about protecting environment. Climate change is the big issue before everybody. In what way, as an individual, I can contribute for controlling this? That sense of responsibility must be built among the people. Followed by this, a deep understanding of and respect for diversity, pluralistic society, and other cultures must also be made. Adherence to the highest standards of ethical behavior, ethics, is one more thing that must be taught. Ethics cannot be taught through lectures. Ethics can be taught better by practicing it. To teach ethics, teachers, punctuality cannot be explained unless we are punctual. I was asked to talk to you till 3 o'clock. However, I have continued up to this. There is a lot to speak to you about all this, but still, I will give time for all of you to interact. Remember, the objective of higher education, we need to, along with the challenges and diversity, we need to remember the objectives of higher education. The objectives of higher education through holistic and multidisciplinary education is different subjects like art, science, commerce, and to make them human beings, and to open the choice and preferences for students to learn more and more subjects of their choice, reduce the dropout rates, encourage mobility of students, and along with this, the NEP 2020 came out with lot many suggestions for making students to equip themselves to face the realities of life. Therefore, my point is to tell you at the end, that is, I recalled Abraham Lincoln somewhere. Abraham Lincoln said, I will accept my child as an educated one only when he gladly accepts victory and defeat equally in life, understands that a dollar earned by hard work is more than several pounds, not to be ashamed of the tears that falls on being unsuccessful, and makes him to have a strong faith in himself, even if the whole world is against him. Teach him to laugh at the time of misery and rise above the feelings of happiness and sorrow. Make him to have pride in his own deeds and able to believe in the of humanity. Education, through jobs, it is to make them to become entrepreneurs, but at the end of the day, it is to make them to be human beings. Okay, now it is the time for interaction. I saw a couple of hand raises and queries. Uh, if I have not touched upon those issues, please take the liberty to interact. Now we can discuss. Or else let them unmute and speak. Character with subject relations. Yes. Character can be described through 17,000 different expressions in English. But I can make it a few like honesty, sincerity, trustworthiness, credibility, things like that. How can you teach all this? As I told you, when you are supposed to speak about punctuality, you have to practice it. When you speak about accuracy, you must demonstrate it. When you want to speak about love, humanity, respect, that you must demonstrate, that you must manifest. It is possible in every subject. Whether you teach mathematics, physics, chemistry, English, law, economics, it must be related to the mankind. Ultimately, to whom you are talking to, you are talking to people who are going to be the custodians of this society. Practical examples, say for instance, chemistry can be used for the betterment of the community, for the betterment of agriculture. At the same time, it can be used for making bombs. Say, for instance, the atom bombs were never invented with the purpose of destruction. Today, what's happening? People are using it to demonstrate their power and to establish their political leadership and using it for the betterment of mankind. Say, for instance, business. Business is not to make profit. Through business, you can help the society by creating employment opportunity, by producing products that are good for the community. Yes, selling socially harmful products, drugs, liquor. This is not the way to make money. Make money in an ethical manner. As I told you, ethics cannot be lectured more. Ethics are to be demonstrated. When you teach ethics, you need to be ethical. Students never learn what the teacher says, but they follow what the teachers do. Therefore, as a teacher, you have to think about bridging the gap between the academics and the realities of life. That will make the students to trust you and enjoy the subjects that they are studying. Otherwise, they are finding a gap between these two. If the gap is widened, they will be lost. I hope you got the point. Uh, I showed, I showed the slide on Gen Z also. Gen Z people are those who believe for immediate result. So that at first you need to be practical with them. You need to teach them that everywhere it is not possible to go in the expected speed, but it is possible to enhance the present speed to reach the objectives. Be practical, tell them the realities, and once again, involve them. Involve them. Don't allow them to wander the imaginary world. Make them to be practical, realistic. That once again calls for patience, preparedness, think as they are thinking. Empathy. Empathize the Gen Z. Empathize with Gen Z. What we expect. Can it be given? Sometimes it is possible, sometimes it is not possible. Try to convince what is not possible and be honest in giving your answer. Don't try to snub them. Don't try to hide anything. When you don't know something, tell them openly, I don't know. Both of us work to know. That collective approach will build confidence. This is what my style. I, Madam, I also request you to tell me the feedback so that I want to be with the audience. Thank you. Thank you.